So, hi and welcome to the first class of Appium. In this class, we'll be studying about the Appium, what is Appium all about, and just the basics of Appium. Okay, then we'll quickly switch to the setup, how to set up and all that stuff. Just a second. So, if you talk about Appium, there is a tool Appium, and you guys are here to get the training for Appium. But the question is why Appium? Okay, and what are the other competitive tools that are present in the market? Like, okay, we are going for the Appium, but what is the reason that we are going for Appium? So if you come here, okay, let me annotate and just give me a second. Okay, so if I talk the current tools in the market, so one is Android, okay, another one is your Calabash, then you have your Appium, and last is iOS driver. Okay, you can also call it XCUI test. So these are the, you can say, major four tools that are being present in the market. There are more tools like that. We'll also talk about that and what is the difference between the other tools that I'll be talking in the later stage and these tools. Okay. So before we move further, what I'll do is I'll make a pictorial representation. I think that will give a better picture. Let me annotate and make a pictorial representation. Like you can say, this first box would be for my Appium. Okay. Similarly, this would be your Android. This would be my iOS driver. And last would be your Calabash. So let's name it as Appium. This would be Android. Guys, our first class would be, first two classes would be more or less theoretical class only. Because in these classes, I'll just let you know that what is this Appium all about. I'll not directly start coding and all that stuff. Okay. First of all, I'll make a ground picture of this Appium. Then we'll switch to the coding stuff. iOS driver and last is Calabash. So first of all, we'll compare all the, you can say the major four tools that are present in the market. Then we'll switch to Appium because suppose down the line you are using Appium or you are going for the Appium, but you should be, you can say, you should be aware of the fact that why you are choosing Appium, that why you are not choosing any other tool competitive to that. Okay, so the answer will lie here. So if I talk of this Appium, okay, the major advantage of using Appium is that this Appium can be used in iOS, it can be used in Android, it can be used in both the platforms, whether it's iOS or it's Android, irrespective of the fact. Similarly, if I talk of your Android, Android is only used in case of your Android. Similarly, as the very name suggests, iOS driver. Okay, you cannot use iOS driver in Android. So this is your iOS specific only. And your Calabash. Okay, Calabash can be used in both. Similarly, both. Okay, so this can be used in both. Similarly, I'll come back to Appium. Another thing is APK. Okay, so guys, before I talk of this new feature, no APK. What is this no APK? So before moving to this no APK feature, the main concern is what is this APK first of all? APK. Okay. So if I move to this APK, first of all, I just want to know that do guys you know about this APK and all that stuff? Anyone has any idea about this APK? Okay, no issues. Before I talk of this APK, there is a term called exe in Windows and .dmg if you are a Mac user. So, have you heard about this term .exe or .dmg in Mac? If you're a Mac user, then DMG, and if you're a Windows user, then exe.
Yes.
Okay. So, whenever you have a executable file, like I want to install anything in my Windows, it should be with the extension of .exe. If there is a .exe means that is a window compatible file. Similarly, if it is a .dmg extension, it means that is a Mac compatible file. Similarly, look, every platform, like suppose if you're installing in Windows, how Windows will detect? If it is .exe, it will detect, okay, this is Windows specific. Windows has made some specific rules that while designing any software for your Windows system, or while designing any software for your Mac, I'm not talking of your iPhone or iOS, I'm talking about Mac. Mac as a system. So you should have some specific extensions. Similarly, while you're designing your stuff for Android phones, you're writing your code, or you can say developers of your Android phone, when they make any software, they have to ensure that the extension is with the name of .apk. Okay, if this .apk extension is not present, that you can say your that application or that software. Look, right now I'm talking in a layman term, software. Down the line we'll come to the more technical terms. There is no term called software. Software is for Windows. For a mobile you have applications. Okay, here I'm just using a generic term. So your software is only installed in your mobile Android phone if it is has the extension of .apk. This is specific to Android. Similarly, for your iPhone, you have extension .app. There is one more extension that is used in iPhone. We'll talk about that later. When we'll come to the stage, we'll talk about that also. So till this time, the main thing is .apk, means that is for Android. This is Android extension. So I have written no APK. What does the word no APK means? No APK means, like, in case suppose you are working over your Appium, or you can be working over your Android or iOS or Calabash. You don't need any APK. APK is the hard-coded file, okay, which you, like suppose your WhatsApp. Because in down the line I'll also talk about how to extract this APKs, how to play around the APKs. This is just I'm giving you a overview of the stuff. Okay. So while you want to automate a app, okay, in most of the cases you need the executable file. Like for Windows it's exe, for Mac it's DMG, for Android it's APK. But in case of your Appium, when you use your Appium, if you don't have your APK also, still it will work fine. You can still automate without the help of your APK. How? That we'll talk in the later classes. So similarly, in case of your you can say Android, it needs APK, and iOS it is more specific to your iOS only, so it needs your app file. Okay, and Calabash is also used in both the cases. Oh, in Calabash, you need APK. Okay, now the main feature of Appium. The main feature of Appium that is that it supports multi-language. Now, what is this term called multi-language? That even I can use Java for it, okay, or I can use Ruby, okay, even I can use C sharp, okay. So this supports multiple languages. You can write your code in any language. So in this session, we'll be only talking about Java. We won't be covering Ruby or C Sharp. Okay. Similarly, this you can say Selendroid, it only works over so on the similar ground, it works over Java and Ruby and C Sharp also. Okay, same as Appium. In iOS case, okay, it supports all, but in Calabash, it only supports Ruby and it supports BDD. What is this BDD? BDD means behavior driven development. Look, this behavior driven development is quite tough. Okay, and as look, see, if suppose you are designing a program or you are making a tool and that is pretty cumbersome and that is screwed to understand by your, you can say, developers, so quite obvious the demand of that tool decreases in the market. Okay, so this Calabash has a less demand than Appium only due to reason that it is BDD based. BDD is quite difficult to understand by the normal people, by the normal developers. So that is why its demand in the market is less because of Appium. Okay, so you can say your Appium is a winner in this case. Okay, so we won't be using Calabash. Okay, so if you talk of this iOS driver, this iOS driver is only specific to iOS. It do not incorporates your Android stuff. So similarly, I cannot use this iOS driver also. Similarly, this Selendroid, it only covers Android. It do not cover your iPhone. So this we won't be using. So we'll be using this Appium only. Okay. Now the thing is that because when you write your code, you write different code for Android, different code for iPhone. So if you're automating a app in Android, okay, so in that case, because this Appium works over Android, this Selendroid also works over Android. So in that case, how to choose that whether you want to go with your Appium or you want to go with your Selendroid? Look, this could also be the question that can come to your mind. That okay, it's fine that this Selendroid do not support Android. Sorry, iPhone. That is perfectly fine. We agree. I also agree with that. But it supports Android. We know about this stuff. Okay, Appium also supports Android. Then why Appium in case of Android? Similarly, why Appium in case of iPhone, iOS driver only? Why not that specific drivers? Because those specific drivers could have done much better. This could be the layman question. That why? But the question should be that the question should not be why. It should be when to use Selendroid or when to use Appium. Now we'll talk about that. That when to use Appium and when to use Selendroid. Guys, you might have heard that when you buy a phone from market, okay, I'll talk of Android first. You have different versions of your Android phones. Okay, like you have this 2x version. First of all, there was 2x version. Then it came the 3x version. Six. And now you have your 8x version. So, do you have any equivalence regarding this different versions? What I have written here: 8x, 7x, 6x, 5x, 4, 3, 2. Any equivalence regarding these X version? What is this X versions? Okay, I'll talk about that. This 8x is the Oreo. That is the latest version of Android that needs to be rolled out. Okay, this is Nougat. This is Marshmallow. This is Lollipop. Okay, this was Then we have ice cream sandwich and many more like that. Okay, but if you talk of these 4x versions, nowadays these versions are getting deprecated. Most of the devices have moved to 5x version, that is lollipop, marshmallow, nougat, Oreo. First of all, there was donut, eclair. These were the previous versions of Android. I'm talking of 2012 and 13. Okay, now I think there is no device that is supporting this nougat, eclair, and all that stuff. People have mostly moved to your, even people don't have ice cream sandwich also. So these are the different versions of Android. If you might have a, if you are an Android user, you might be aware of this fact that whenever Android rolls a new version, new OS version, they name it like this. Okay, this is the common thing that is known to everyone. This is called as version of Android. Now, sorry. Now, the next thing is that whenever your developers talk, okay, they talk about the code and all that stuff. They never say that they have made the code that will be working over your lollipop, marshmallow, nougat, or Oreo. They talk about the API levels. That what is the specific API level my code would be supporting. Okay, and depending upon your API level, your version of your phone is decided. So similarly, you have different API levels like 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 17, and you have 21, you have 26. I'm just giving the numbers. Okay, there is 22 also, 23, 24 also, from 17 to 21. You have all the numbers. Okay, so whenever you can say this is your API level. So whenever your developer make a code, they talk of your API levels that okay, I'm using this and that and all that stuff. So in case of your Appium, or in case of your Cell Android, these are the API levels that are being supported by Cell Android from 11 to 14. This is supported by our Cell Android, and like suppose you can say you have this 3x version. Sorry. So you have this 3x version. Okay, if I talk of your these versions, these are supported by till API level 14. Okay, so as you know that these versions are no more present in the market. Okay, so you are choosing the Appium. The another thing to mean choosing the Appium is that because look, suppose if you're targeting lollipop, marshmallow, or nougat, Oreo, you cannot automate them with the help of Android. You can only automate them with the help of your Appium only. So that is why from API level 17 and till on, the 26 is the latest one. Okay, very soon 27 will be rolled out. It supports your Appium. So now I think you have got your answer that when to choose which tool. If you're targeting your API level 14 or the 3x version, okay, then you can choose Android. After that, they have no support of Android. You have to only use Appium. And as you know that I don't think that anyone in the today's world would be having Donut or Eclair, or any client is targeting these two versions of phone. That is why you use your Appium. Okay, this is the main reason behind, you can say, that why we use your Appium and all that stuff. Now before I talk about anyone, let's go to official website of this Appium. Look, your sorry. Your appium.io. It is the official website of your Appium. Okay, that talks about your Appium and all that stuff. This is the official website of Appium. Okay, even I can ping it to you. I can ping it to you on common chat window. So you can also refer to this site if you like. We'll be downloading the tool and all that stuff. So we'll be, you can say, going to this site only and downloading the stuff. Similarly, if I talk of download section, okay, like if you talk of the different languages that are being supported by our Appium, it's Ruby, it's Java, it's C Sharp. It also supports JavaScript, Python. Okay, so that's why it has multi-language support. Similarly, this would be the app that would be downloading. We won't be downloading it right now, but down the line we'll be downloading it. Okay, so let me come back. Just a second, guys. Okay, it's loading. So this is the basics about your Appium. Okay, that what is your Appium, how it works, what is it all about. Okay, just to give you a small picture or a small history. Okay, down the line we'll be emulating this website. Okay, we'll be talking about the history stuff, that what is the you can say previous versions of Appium, what is a stable version of Appium, which version we'll be choosing, and why. Even why also, that why I'm choosing this specific version, what is the main reason of choosing any specific version. Sorry, I clicked the wrong window. Let me go to this documentation now. Then I'll quickly give you a small example. Guys, this documentation chamber was not present earlier in your Appium. Okay, so this is the basic history, or you can say how this works and all that stuff. If I come to this Appium design, okay, they have given that for 4.2 they use this Google Automator or UA Automator 2, and if you want to use Android 2.3, okay, they're preferring Google Instrumentation or Cell Android. So your UI Automator, UI Automator 2, these are the part of your Appium. Similarly, your Google Instrumentation is a part of your Cell Android. So there is no device present in the market that is with the 2.3 version. So that is why we use your Appium instead of that. Similarly, in case of your iPhone or iOS, we'll be using XCUI test. Okay, that I talked in the starting. Okay, so this is all about basics about your Appium. Okay, so now that one more thing that I want to talk before I move further, let me open a site. Uh, uh, have you heard about this GitHub? Has anyone any idea regarding this GitHub? What is this GitHub? Anyone, guys? Okay, no issues. I'll talk about GitHub. GitHub is, you can say, kind of your repo management, where you can keep your code, or you can get the different things. So it is kind of your repository management stuff. But also the one more thing that GitHub has is GitHub used to give the rankings to your different tools. Okay, like some new tool is launched in the market. GitHub will kind of give him a ranking. Okay, let me open a site. Okay, let it load. It's pretty slow, no issues. So I'll show you a website with the name of perfectomobile.com/solutions. It's perfecto test automation. Okay, let me open this link. What this link talks about is it will give you the different rankings. Like you have Appium and all, you have different tools. Okay, let it load. Oops, it's redirected to another one. Okay, no issues. Let me check. Okay, till the time it load, I'll come here. So GitHub used to give the different rankings to the different tools that are being present in the market. So right now you will see that the Appium has the highest ranking till date comparative to its other tools in the market that are being present. It is the highest rated tool. Okay. Now the thing is that how this Appium works. Okay. How it interacts with the another stuff. I'll give you a small example. Now we come to know that okay, we have to choose Appium. We are pretty good with it. Okay. We'll be choosing Appium because of its XYZ advantages. Okay, because like we compared it, we have you can say successfully compared it with another tools that are being present in the market. Now, the main thing that I want to talk about in this session is this is my WebDriver and this is your app and this is your mobile app. Okay, just just be with me. This is your mobile app. This is your Appium and this is your WebDriver. Now, first of all, have you heard about this WebDriver term? What is this WebDriver?
Yes.
Okay. So basically, even if you are not hurt, no issues. We'll be talking about this WebDriver also. Okay. Right now, I'm just giving you a small example that how this WebDriver and all that stuff is working. So what this WebDriver will do is how it will communicate with your mobile app. Okay. So this WebDriver will communicate with the help of some WebDriver command. Like you can say, just a second. It will communicate with it. In that contrary, this will communicate with this. Okay, this would be using some WebDriver command. This would be using because right now I'm talking of Android, so if it could have been the case of iPhone, it would be iOS commands. Okay, so how this interaction takes place? The WebDriver will talk to your Appium that in return will talk to your mobile app. Then your this Android command or iPhone command or mobile command. Okay, this is also called as JSON wire protocol. This is just a theoretical one. Mainly people ask in case of your interviews that what is JSON wire protocol. Okay, so JSON wire protocol is something when your Appium talks to your mobile app with the help of some commands. Okay, those set of commands or you can say those set of protocols are called as JSON wire protocols. Okay, mostly guys this question is asked in the case of interviews. Okay, that is why I'm talking about this thing right now. Similarly, like I was coming to this website. Okay, here is it's written UI automator 2 and here you have XUI test in case of your Appium. So what is this UI automator test? As its very name suggests, Google. So Google has automatically designed its framework in order to automate your Android apps. Like if you want to automate your Android app, you can choose some framework. So Google has itself given that framework with the name of UI Automator 2 slash UI Automator. I'll also talk about this. What is this UI Automator and what is this UI Automator 2 and what is the difference between both. Okay, once we'll be having the upper hands over it, we'll start using it, then we'll talk about it. Similarly for your Apple has because you want to test your iPhone apps. Similarly, Apple has also designed a framework for their people, and they have named it as Apple's UI test. Okay, so these are the two different you can say different links. Okay, you can just have an overview over this. You can have a glance, but we'll be talking about this each and everything. What is this Expresso, what is this testing, what is this UI automator stuff, what is UI automator 2. Okay, so now guys, suppose whenever now you choose any tool, okay, now suppose if you're using Appium also, now you have the answer that why you're using Appium. Okay, okay, I'll start the question round, just give me a second.